rants. Welcome to Come Rant With Me, a.k.a. Life is Like a Box of Rants, a.k.a. You Can't Handle the Rant. I'm your host, Matt Gorman. I'm here with my co-host, producer, engineer, David Huey Hayman.
I was manhandled by the rant.
And
it felt good.
This is Come Rant With Me. This is my podcast where we talk shit about things that piss us off in the world. Little things, mundane things, unimportant things, just those little things that people do or that happen in life that you just can't get out of your head, and you got to talk about them. If you don't talk about them, they drive you crazy, and I like to talk about that kind of shit, so that's what it is. Welcome to the podcast. If you haven't listened before, thanks for tuning in. If you have, thanks for coming back. Tell your friends. My guest today is director ALLAN UNGAR. He has made several films. He's a young man, but he's already very accomplished. I worked with him on a feature called Gridlocked, starring Danny Glover, Dominic Purcell, Trish Stratus, and Stephen Lang, among others. It was a very fun action movie. It's available now on Netflix. ALLAN has a couple things coming down the pipe. He's a writer and director. He also, coincidentally, which comes up in our conversation, we found out when we were working together that he used to rent movies from me at the video store that I worked at in Thornhill when he was like a very young man, like a child, and I was working there. So with that, got us into some very fun movie conversations. He's a good guy. We had a fun conversation with some good ranting, and yeah, have a listen. I hope you like it, and we'll see you next time. So, yeah, let's get right into the podcast. So, ALLAN, thanks for coming, being on the podcast.
Happy to be here.
Give me one sentence who you are, what you do.
I am a Toronto-based film producer and director.
Nice. And writer.
And I love walks on the beach.
Do you?
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on where the beach is.
That's good to know. That's coming up in my questions. All right, before
Nowhere
we get...
in Canada.
I know you got a good rant to talk about. Before we get into your rant, let's just get you to answer some questions. They'll tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit more. So, we got to go with some of the normals, or some of the regulars, so we ask everyone. So,
is my girlfriend going to get mad at me?
No. Let's start with this one.
Probably, but not for this podcast.
This one might be a bit controversial with him, but let's see. Chicken wings, drums or wings?
Wings, dude.
Wings.
Absolutely. But had them last night.
But you don't eat the sauce. No white sauce.
No, the ranch. I don't like it.
Oh, well, he's a slender man.
He's a slender. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why he's slender.
No, that's why he's wise and he's smarter than us.
And I avoid ranch.
But you're all about the white sauce.
I'm all about the white sauce, and I'm all about the.
I have a gag reflex. I associate it with a childhood incident. Can't do it. It's not semen.
That we're not going to go into, your gag reflex.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. Spit or swallow? No, let's not go there.
When you stop recording, yeah.
Coupon or coupon?
Coupon.
God damn it. Yeah, okay. Smooth or crunchy? Peanut butter wise.
Smooth.
So you're a smooth guy.
That's right.
You got one, Hayman.
That's right.
It's like never.
You guys take bets on this?
Yeah, and nobody's been smooth.
Everyone goes crunchy, which is shocking to me.
Everyone's so fucking fancy.
I know your answer for this probably, but window or aisle on a plane?
Oh, dude. Have you seen my legs? Aisle.
Everyone says that, but it doesn't give you any more space to be on the aisle.
Does.
How?
Absolutely.
You stick your leg out into the aisle?
Oh, absolutely I do.
Then don't you get banged every time someone walks by?
I don't go to sleep on planes. Fuck that.
Oh,
I can't do that.
What do you do?
How long's the flight?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, short flights, it shouldn't matter, but I just like to look out the window and see all the little things down
One of the short
ground.
flights is when I nap, because you don't have time for a movie.
No, but on long flights, like if you're going flying to Europe, you gotta sleep. If you're doing
that's true. To be fair, I went to Shanghai last year, and I still had an aisle, but I did go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Beach or pool?
Ooh, you stumped me.
You said long walks on the beach. So
I do like long walks on the beach, but I like swimming in pools.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a little split. That's okay.
I'm split.
Boner, Skippy, or Urkel?
Urkel.
Really?
Why not?
Urkel. The fucking catchphrases, man. Boner. You're old enough for boner, right? Growing pains? Anyway.
Urkel.
All right. He's sticking with Urkel, ladies and gents.
And smooth.
How about Facebook or Twitter?
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah?
I don't like the Twitter.
No?
It's not for me.
I feel you. It's different.
I don't even use it at all.
I'm surprised you even have an opinion. You can't rant as much on Twitter.
I know. Well, I do my short rants on Twitter.
140 character rants?
Yeah. I have too many Twitter accounts so that I can't keep track. I've got my one and the Come Rant With Me one, and I don't know, it's too much. All right, DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. See Wonder Woman yet?
I have.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's given me faith.
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely
It's not enough for me to say DC though.
No, totally not. But it gave me the
How
thought of
about
like
this?
maybe Justice League won't
retro,
suck.
not even retro, mid 2000s DC. Sure, I'll go with you. But
Yeah.
now today, Marvel.
Yeah.
They got the formula. It works.
Yeah, I feel you. I think DC.
Wonder Woman was great.
It
Wonder
made me
Woman-
think like maybe they're heading in the right direction
I
now.
have total faith in them now.
Oh, I don't have total faith, but I have some faith that like maybe it won't suck. It won't be as bad as Batman vs Superman because it's hard to be that bad.
Well, Suicide Squad managed to top that.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. That's not even. I guess it is DC Universe, but they consider it this like separate, weird
It's like the
offshoot.
bastard child of
Yeah.
the DC
Yeah,
universe.
that was bad shit. Anyway, all right, now we're gonna do a special segment just for Alan. A little backstory on Alan and I. When we worked on Gridlock together, we would ride to set together every day because we live right close to each other, and Alan would drive me like the nice man that he is. And one day we started talking. Alan and his brother Steve, who also was working on that shoot, were big into talking about classics. What movies are classics? And one day the movie Eurotrip came up.
Oh, no,
Steve and
this is
Alan
so
both
out of
declared
context.
that Eurotrip was a classic, which drove me crazy.
No,
So now
it was Good Burger that we said was a classic, and that's what
Good
drove me.
Burger?
But I'll tell you. Well,
Okay, go ahead.
I'll let you
No,
finish.
Well, I have I want to
Neither
do
are
a
the
new
classics.
game called
Okay.
Classic or Not.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, and I'm absolutely pumped for it. But
Okay.
allow me to provide some context.
Okay.
I think that there are movies that are just ubiquitously classic.
Okay.
Jaws, can't deny it. Star
Right.
Wars, Raiders, you cannot deny those are classics.
Right.
And then there are classics that are subjective, like from your own childhood. They
Right.
mean something to you.
Yeah.
So for me, I say, yeah, Good Burger was a classic for me because it meant something. It harks back to a time when I was a kid where it I could associate it with something.
Yeah,
right?
that's with the extra L's.
Sure.
It's classic.
You know, and
not
that's
classic.
fair. That's totally
I think
fair.
there's
saying-
extra A's, not
But-
cold.
or-
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
but here's the
exactly.
thing.
But it's a different thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Because you're saying you're giving when you say it classic and it's too classy the way you're saying it, it gives it that elevation that some of these films don't deserve, but they are classic.
Right.
Right.
And now here's
You
the
know
thing:
what I mean?
you have this podcast for a reason, so you know what it's like
No, we
to
don't.
work Matt Gorman up for shits and giggles.
Oh, yeah, that.
So for us to sit in a car and start labeling movies that we know are fucking garbage.
That was a
and
long
tell-
drive too. That
and
was when we
tell-
were driving out to the
Yeah,
farm.
to
that
Brampton
went on
or
for a
to
long time.
And to
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
Gorman that we think Eurotrip is a classic, and to see
wind
him
him
turn
up.
red hot,
Yeah.
it was worth it. It was worth it. Honestly,
enough.
it was worth
I
it.
almost got out of the car and walked at that point the rest of the way.
Which was our
Pretty
goal
sure.
from the start. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fucking Unger brothers.
He had this bad cheese taco beforehand.
Or
So
like,
we wanted
let's-
him out of there.
Let's rock some classic or not questions. And
No, so
let's,
we're going. Okay, so now we're going with the legit classic, not the subjective classic. Or you're
whatever.
asking me to tell
Yeah,
you what
no,
I think.
what
That's
you
the
think.
game. You pronounce it whether
No.
it's classic. Or
I like
class.
that. No, but
Class,
Gorman
so
doesn't
it's
want
classic,
that.
classic.
Oh yeah, instead of
or
saying yes
nah.
or no, you say classic or classic.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No, you don't like that game? I like that game.
I think it's all
I'm
about
hijacking
you.
this podcast.
All right,
It's an Unger game.
You can do
so
whatever you
define
want.
the rules.
Whatever you want. Ready? Die Hard.
Oh, fucking classic.
Die Hard 2. Die Harder.
Classic. Actually, you know what? Honestly, no, it's not anything.
No, I'm confused.
really
Which
isn't.
one is classic and which one is classic? Classic.
Classic is like for you. Classic is like,
Personally.
dude, it's
Okay.
Die Hard. It's a
Gotcha.
classic. Yeah.
Okay. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Classic.
Okay.
Not a classic.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Neither, but I do like the movie.
Nah. That's classic or nah is the game. So the answer is nah.
No. I like it though a lot.
The Rock.
Oh, classic.
Bad Boys.
It's not, but it's a classic for me.
Okay. Bad Boys 2.
Classic for me, not classic at all.
Classic for you, Bad Boys 2?
I love that movie. It's
never saw the
gratuitous
sequel.
in every way, shape, and form.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh, fuck no.
Okay, good. Let's go Nick Cage. Con Air.
You're asking me because we're going classic. We have a Nick Cage category.
Yeah, I have
That's
like
not
different
fair.
categories.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
categories.
You should have then went to the Rock. Okay.
the bar's raised.
Con Air is you know what? I feel like the problem is we could have a podcast about each of these movies as to why they are or are not classics. Con Air's a tough one, actually. I don't think so.
Really?
I love
Oh,
it, and
surprised.
it's a subjective classic for me.
Okay.
But when I go back now and I watch them, like I don't think that's a classic.
Really? Okay, I misread you. I for sure thought.
You know what?
were
If you asked me this
classic on
5
that
years
one.
ago, I probably would have said it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about Face Off?
Everything.
I think Face Off's a classic.
Yeah.
More than Con Air. Absolutely.
I was gonna ask Gone in 60 Seconds, but that's a given piece of shit, right? You
Funny. I'm very good friends with the director, so I will not say it's a piece of shit.
Okay, but it's not a classic.
It's not a classic.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Demolition Man.
I don't think so. I mean,
No.
I have my own subjective view on why it could be
Yeah.
a classic, but no, it's not a classic.
Tango and Cash.
Definitely not.
No? Oh, I fully
it's
thought you were going to go for
classic.
that
No,
one.
it's classic.
Yeah, big time classic.
It's classic.
Yeah,
Not classic.
the thing
it's
with
not
that movie is I can't remember anything about it. I
the
remember
music.
liking it when it came out, but I can't remember anything other than the two cops who don't get
Classic,
along.
you got to be able to
an
rewatch
archetype.
Yeah.
over and
And
over.
remember.
And
You have to remember moments.
Key moments.
Yeah,
That's why
totally.
Die Hard's a classic.
True Romance.
Yeah, you know what? I would say it's a classic.
Me too. It's my favorite
totally
movie
a
of all
classic.
time. Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes, but not for me.
No?
Not into the hype, but it's a classic for sure.
How about Inglourious Bastards?
Classic, not a classic at all.
Really? Yeah.
It's too contemporary, I think, at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
I
it is.
feel like after 2010, you
can't be a
have
classic.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Be a
hard to-
future classic. That's what we call music that we think is going to like stand the test of time.
Sure, but it doesn't stand up to a Frank Sinatra classic.
But
because-
Inglourious Bastards won't. I don't
No,
think.
Inglorious cannot. No,
It
I
had
don't-
its
You hear an
moments,
Adele
but-
song, you can say clearly this is going to be a future classic.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when you watch a movie like Moonlight, you're like, well, that's a terrible movie, but
I could see why it would be a classic.
an important movie of
Yeah.
some
See,
ilk.
I think you could say the thing about music and like what's going to be a classic and what isn't, but that's because you like know music really well. But there's so many fucking one-hit wonder type bands that people think like these guys, Imagine Dragons, they're fucking classic, man. Like in 5 years, no one's going to remember Imagine
no,
Dragons,
Imagine Dragons
or
would-
I don't even remember what their fucking song is called now.
Well, that's why you used
know?
Adele as an example.
Yeah, Adele is like
Yeah,
she's been around. Yeah,
That's
true.
totally fair.
Couple more. Breakfast Club,
Yeah, total classic.
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, not for me, but yeah.
No?
Not
Yeah, I
like
think
the
you were
breakfast.
too young
Not
when it
like
came out.
no. It's not that I was. I was a huge Hughes fan, man.
Yeah?
No, well, not Dazed and Confused. Let's link later. But like, I'm saying that Breakfast Club, you can't say Dazed and Confused stacks up like the Breakfast Club does.
No?
Like
How
for
about Ferris Bueller?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, fully.
100%.
Uncle Buck.
For me, it is. It's not a classic though.
For you, it's a
It's
classic?
a classic for me because when I grew up, it's like why My Cousin Vinny's a
Me
classic
too.
to me because I grew up watching that movie all the time. It
When you
still-
own a VHS,
it
it
still
becomes classic
stands
to you.
the test of time today when you watch those films.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true because I owned the movie K9 on VHS for years, and that is not a fucking
Well, that's
classic.
your own
That's a
fault for
classic.
watching
I
it
remember
again.
I
going
watched
to
it
see that
100
at Hillcrest
times.
Mall.
Yeah, try watching like Broken Arrow again. Like you'll see how hard it is to watch some movies again.
Heathers.
No.
No, not you. You're too young for that too, I
I
think.
think
It
it's
could
up
be
to-
classic.
Well, I'm too young for that.
You're
I'm not
also
too young
male.
for Uncle Buck.
I think when it came out, Heathers, you were like younger.
Yeah.
Where it came out for me like right at the right time. I was like just starting high school, and that's like what
Sure.
it's about.
Yeah, I
you
can-
Both
were a
straight
little bit
males
younger.
too. It's like
Yeah.
not
No,
going to be life
No,
changing.
but Christian Slater in that movie is like he's the man.
Pump up
He's
the volume.
Yeah, that was my next question. Pump up the volume.
Yeah, no, I'm not for me, but I know
No.
it's a classic.
How about Cuffs?
It's so funny. The second you said Christian Slater,
You knew I was
about
going
to
Cuffs?
say not that, but maybe Cuffs is for me. For me, it is. It's not. It's not. It's by no means a classic
Cuffs is a classic for you?
from my
wrong.
childhood, but it's not a classic movie at all.
Okay, last group. Vacation.
Oh yeah.
European Vacation.
Oh no.
No! Look,
come
kids,
on.
Big Ben Parliament. Oh, I love European Vacation.
Vacation is a
What
classic.
about Vegas Vacation?
For me, it is, but it's
What?
It's not a classic.
Vegas Vacation over European Vacation?
I'll tell you, there's certain sequels where it's okay. Like Terminator 2 is a classic, and I know the first one is, but the second one stands on its own.
I think the second
works.
one is so much better than the first one for
No, I know. That's
Terminator.
why it's a classic.
Right.
So I'm saying European Vacation is not one of those examples where the sequel can still be a classic. I don't
I
think.
think
it
both
can, Chris.
Ernest Saves Christmas and Ernest Goes to Camp are both classic.
You're just fucking.
No, hold on.
And will be
hold
studied
Hold
forevermore.
on. They're classic, but are they classics?
They're real classics.
There's a difference.
They're like
No,
Orson
they're
Welles
garbage.
classic.
They're garbage. European Vacation is classic, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're gonna go back and watch it today and really say that you stand by it.
It was on
Yes,
TV.
yes,
It's been on
they
TV
stand out.
recently.
That's
It was
That's
on
fair.
last night.
Maybe I'll go back and
fully-
watch it again, and we'll do a redux of this, and I'll agree
They
with
fully
you.
stand up. Way to go, Gorman.
Sorry, buddy. All right, let's. What do you want to rant about, Alan?
I would love nothing more than to rant about people who talk and or text during movies.
Like in the movie theater?
Oh, in the movie theater. I could care less if it's on my couch because
Right.
it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
We're all bound to whip out our phones while we're Netflixing and
Right.
chilling.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Well, hopefully not while you're chilling, quote unquote chilling. But anyway,
Depends how much work you got, Matt.
Yeah,
what
movie
angle you
theaters.
wanna get.
See, I don't go to movie theaters that often anymore with kids.
I'm
and I just
discouraged. I'm
don't-
not going to lie.
But
I
don't go to the theater.
No, I'm discouraged to go to the theaters.
Yeah?
Because of this.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
But with your kid, yeah, you got two now.
Because
Yeah,
of
but
this,
it's like
is it alone?
the thing is too. Like I have a badass system at home. I have a 55-inch TV surround
Yeah,
sound. That
yeah,
there's not many movies that I feel like I need to see
You
this
know
in a
what?
theater.
I've got the same kind of setup,
Yeah.
but there are still movies
Yeah.
that I feel I gotta sit with an audience. Maybe it's sometimes a comedy because the laughter, like unanimous, you're all laughing together. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
adds to it. But also like real popcorn flicks.
Yeah.
Totally gonna go to the theater.
That's me too.
take my money. But
Yeah.
now. I used to try to go once a week to see whatever was coming out, to know what's on the market,
Right.
to know just to watch everything.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore, and
No.
that's because of this.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore.
See, I was in the movie the other day. I went to see Wonder Woman, and which I enjoyed, but. Yeah, it's just the symptom of best thing ever, worst thing ever, where everyone's like, it's the best superhero movie
Right.
ever. We're like, it's good. I liked it. It was entertaining
it's not
for
the best.
sure.
Yeah, it's
Too
great.
long. It had holes in it.
Sure.
How the fuck did they get to London so fast in one night? Where the fuck was that island? All of a
She's
sudden they're in
Wonder
London. But anyway, but there's people talking before the movie, like during the commercials
Yeah.
and the previews, and then in my head I'm like, are they gonna keep fucking
Oh,
talking during the
God.
movie? Or
That's-
like I'm okay with like talking during the
That
trailers.
takes up
because who
so
cares?
much of my time when I'm in a
Thinking
movie
about
theater.
that?
Thinking, are you going to continue?
Yeah.
Are you going to be the reason that I commit homicide?
I had my plan in of like move. Where do we move? If
Yeah.
these people behind me are talking, I'm already thinking ahead because I don't go when it's super busy.
You know what I equate it to? I equate it to getting on an airplane.
Yeah.
Okay. And you get there a little bit before everybody else.
Yeah.
And you know there's a vacant seat next to you.
Uh-huh.
And you start scoping out the people, the suspects, as they're coming down the aisle, and you're like, I
Yeah.
hope it's not him.
Right.
I hope it's not him.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, it's the 400-pound guy.
Right.
It's like when I go into a movie, and I usually get there early. I
Yeah.
just like to. I'm old school like
Yeah.
that. I get there half an hour before, and you see, and if it's like a movie like Wonder Woman where you know it's going to be busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Droves of people are coming in.
Right.
Right. And you're just like, okay, the suspects are narrowing down. There's less seats now, and it's diminishing. Please don't be these girls here, these little teenagers.
Right.
Please don't be those old people there.
Yeah.
You sit
What?
there-
What did he say?
Oh, don't get me started. Like, so, the amount of time that and then when they finally do start talking, which they're bound to during the ads,
Yeah.
you're just like, do I say something now?
Yeah.
Like preemptively to let you know that you're not going to want to fuck with me if you're sitting near me?
Right.
Or do I give them benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
Let them just, ride it out, see
Yeah.
what happens. And you know what? Honestly, more often than not, they usually stop.
Yeah.
But then there's the other times,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here.
Yeah, I can't deal with people like that. That's why I don't go to. Part of the reason I don't love going to the theater.
Yeah.
People are like, you got to see movies in the theater. And comedy, I get what you mean, but at the same time, if I don't laugh at it sitting on my couch, then I don't think it's funny. And if it's
Yes
if
and
I
no.
have to be in a crowd of people laughing in order to find it funny,
I think
then,
it's more contagious though, and I
Yeah.
think it enhances the experience when you do
But
it.
when you're sitting alone on your couch and watching a movie and you fucking crack up, that's like,
yes.
that's a
100%.
funny fucking movie or a funny
100%.
joke in a movie.
And you know what? The reason, I don't know if you're familiar with the Alamo Drafthouse chain.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I love those. And that's actually when we premiered Gridlock, the first
Yeah.
place that we screened that in the world was at the Alamo Drafthouse for
In Austin?
Fantastic Fest in
Yeah.
Austin. And I love that theater because they get celebrities. They had Kyle Chandler do one from Friday Night Lights. They just had...
What is it? You guys are talking about something.
So
about-
Alamo Drafthouse is a theater chain in the U.S. Okay, and it was started by this guy Tim League, who they now do distribution and stuff too. And it's one of those theaters that reserves the right to kick you out if you're disruptive.
Right.
But also,
Don't they all?
No, not at all. Have you tried complaining to a Cineplex manager?
No, they don't give a shit.
Good
They don't get
fucking-
people kicked
good.
out.
They give you a free-
fucking
they give you a
luck.
free ticket
They give
for
you a
next
free
time.
movie. So they
But
also.
Alamo Drafthouse, one of the big things is they sell alcohol.
Well, I was
It's
about to say that.
licensed.
So I was about to say they also
Yeah.
devised a great system during the movie. So your chairs are very comfortable. They're
Yeah,
loungy.
it's like VIP
and you have like
styles.
a table. It's like
Yeah.
a ledge. So the VIP that we have now basically borrowed from the Alamo Drafthouse.
Right.
But they also run ads before the movie that have celebrities basically saying, if you text, I will kill you. And they had a woman who got kicked out of the Alamo Drafthouse. This is maybe going back 5 years. It went viral. Look it up. It's hilarious. And she left a voicemail, the Alamo Drafthouse, saying, you guys kicked me out. But she was this hick. So she was like, the Magnited States of America. And they ran this as an ad. The voicemail was the ad for not talking
hilarious.
or texting.
Wow.
And they ran like a sing-along subtitles
so
to her.
smart.
Oh, look at it. It's amazing.
That's
and
funny.
these guys really sort of like embrace the idea of, we will kick you out if
Yeah.
you piss off the other like customers.
I just don't get it. What are you going to the fucking movie for? And
There's
then
no reason
it's one
for it.
thing when people, I'll like turn to my,
Hand
whisper
jobs
to
in
my
the
wife,
dark.
is that the girl
What?
from whatever? Like little things like that is one thing.
Moments,
But
moments.
I've been in movies where people are having a full fucking conversation about something unrelated to the movie, sitting there, and the movie's
Yeah.
on. I'm like, why are you
Look,
in this fucking theater, man?
There's two examples that come to mind, and it's actually funny. There's three. Two of them were with Bruno Marino, who was the producer of Gridlocked. And
Shout out Bruno. Big ups.
to Big B. We went to see the Michael Mann movie Black Hat with Chris Hemsworth, and obviously there were not a lot of people in the theater. And
Never heard of it, so yeah.
I've never heard of it.
fair enough. Hence why I'm the
Sounds
movie nerd
familiar
here.
vaguely.
And
but
there was
anyway.
this guy talking behind us, and it was getting to the point. It was, I don't know, quarter of the way through the movie, and I kept. Usually, what you do, and I'm going to go on a tangent here, is you don't always say something.
tangent away, man.
You turn and you look at them,
Right.
and you let them know that
Death
you're onto
eyes.
them,
Death stare,
and you
yeah.
see if it works.
Throw some shade.
So we did that, and it didn't work. And then I turned back again to realize that he's the guy who builds my computers at Canada Computers. So I'm like, oh shit. Now Bruno does not hold back. Bruno's an angry guy. So
I gotta get Bruno in here,
Yeah, you
man.
gotta get
Shit.
Bruno on here. Good luck. He
Yeah.
turns around and he's about to say, I'm like, no, you can't do it. I know this guy. He can't do it. So we put up with it. But we went to see John Wick, the original.
Yeah.
And that's not a movie you fucking talk through.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, unless it's to be like, that was dope. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And these guys would not shut up. And we both turned around at the same time. We were like, shut the fuck up. Needless to say, they were quiet throughout the rest of the movie.
Right.
But, there's been instances where it doesn't work.
Yeah, but then psychologically, you have stuff on your mind after that.
That's the problem. It ruins the experience for
know
you,
what I
too.
mean?
Yeah.
You're like, are these guys gonna like spit on me? Are they gonna fucking like?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to fucking?
Are they going to throw popcorn at me? And you know what? At Christmas Day, I've now learned Christmas Day is one of the worst.
Oh, why would
Because of all the Jews.
Why
all
would
the
you?
Jews in the
And we're all,
theater.
for the record, we're all Jews. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
everyone in the room is Jews.
Just before
Everyone
anyone
listening.
listens to this.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
On iTunes.
I went to go see, I think it was The Gambler, that horrible Mark Wahlberg remake. And there was just this old couple talking, like narrating the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I turned around, I was like, shh. She goes, don't you shh me. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. This is in your living room. She's like, who raised you? And then my mom, who I was with, turns around and she's like, I did. Shut up. It was amazing.
Nice.
But it
Go
happens.
Mrs. Unger.
It happens too often, honestly.
Yeah.
And so, and then I think the last time it happened was in the fall. My girlfriend and I went to go see Girl on a Train. And it was the same situation where they're talking through the ads, and it was these very obnoxious, loud guys.
Yeah.
And they looked like these thuggish high school kids. And they're talking. And funny enough, my girlfriend, who doesn't normally do it, she turned around and like freaked out at them.
Really?
And one of the guys who was like, oh no, she didn't. And it just spiraled from there. It spiraled from there. And
I noticed that there's a movement towards sanitation, which has moved the straws back into the packages, which is fantastic because then you get an extra straw and you just ball that shit up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you got good aim, you can nail someone in the back of the head that's talking in the dark, not a problem. So yeah, no, things are changing for the good. Trying to keep things positive.
well, there's no way to enforce it. That's the problem. And I speak to Cineplex managers all the time. I'm like, listen, I spend a lot of money coming here
Right.
every year.
Yeah.
Could you guys at least, and look, they don't want it. It's a business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
going to kick someone out. They
Yeah.
want your money.
Yeah. They'd rather give you a free movie
They'd
than
rather
pick someone else out
They'd
and
rather
piss them
say,
off.
hey, here's incentive to come back next time when
Yeah.
we're also
And buy
going to do
popcorn.
nothing for
Yeah,
you.
and you're going to buy popcorn.
And which is where they make all their money anyway, right? Off
which is why I
concessions.
won't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give in to that. But anyway, that's another story. It's just it's gotten to the point where I am actually discouraged, and I wrote a letter to Cineplex.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
letter?
I wrote an email
Like a fit.
whatever, with my letterhead and everything.
Letter fucking head.
My fountain pen.
Oh
no.
my.
And they sent me like a whack of again free
shit. Yeah.
shit, and
Right
it's not
on.
gonna. It's not.
Yeah.
So honestly,
That's
like
10 letters,
if
listener.
you're gonna keep pissing me off, I'm gonna keep taking free shit from you.
Yeah,
That's
obviously.
what else am I gonna do?
See, that's the thing. For me, the only reason to go to the theater is the sound and picture quality. Like, being in an audience is the opposite. See, I don't go to movies on weekend nights ever.
You go during the day.
Not
or
since I was a teenager. I go to matinees, or I'll go to weekend, like, daytime, like, earlier shows, like a 4 o'clock show or whatever. But I never go on the opening weekend either. I wait till the movie's been out 2 or 3 weeks.
Again, I'm discouraged now going opening night.
Yeah, it's fucking. I can't.
And the theater, depends on what theater. Like Yorkdale, for instance.
Yeah.
Yorkdale's never a win for anybody.
No, that's like my main theater where I go.
That's my main theater too.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No. And I'll say it for kids movies because I'm mostly going to kids movies these days, and I think it's a fair point that it's not a fucking place to babysit the kid that's too young to see the movie.
No,
you know, and I hate that when there's like it's a movie clearly for like 7, 8 year olds, even a little higher, but they bring the other little kid,
and then try to explain to them the whole time.
Well, and the kid's not happy, they're hungry, and it's annoying.
Speaking of Eurotrip that you mentioned, I'll remember when I actually went to see Eurotrip. It was a guy with his 2 tiny kids with him.
Right.
He had to explain the jokes. They were laughing at the wrong times. Yeah. It was like, it was terrible.
Yeah, they have movies for that. It's called mommy movies or whatever, and they turn the volume down, and you can come in with your stroller, and that's like for people to bring small children to. But don't fucking. I saw this whole thing about kindergartners. Yeah, they have that like, at certain theaters. I forget what it's called. It's called strollers and.
Oh yeah.
It's just
film mummies.
Going to the States is different too.
The States?
I find that
more talking?
It's more talking and less less being amenable to like a courtesy of shutting the fuck up.
That's Canada. Yeah, that's
because
partly the Canada-US thing. Plus, in the States, someone could pull out a gun.
Well, this is the best part. This is why I bring this up, and you just hit it.
It's true.
So I went with a friend to see Jurassic World. I guess this 2 years ago now in LA.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but we ended up in a very, on the outskirts of town kind of theater. And he's like, I go here all the time. It's cheap Tuesdays, $8, whatever.
Right.
And he also happened to be carrying a gun. He's a former cop. And he has his carry permit.
Right.
And he's one of those Americans, like a lot of the ones we know now probably, who are like, yeah, there could be an apocalypse one day. They could overthrow the government. I need a weapon. I need to bear arms. And I got to protect myself. Like, he is very much about that.
Right.
It's like my wife.
Yeah. In Canada, you never know. So we go, and there are these 2 individuals behind us. And it's like I can't even make this up. Every time a dinosaur would come up on screen, oh shit, he got the T-Rex! And they narrated the whole movie. And they were screaming and they were shouting, and the whole theater was like, shut the fuck up.
It's hilarious.
And I didn't say anything because I'm like, I don't know, I don't even want to get into it right now. And the guy I was with, the look on his face, I was like, oh no, I hope he doesn't pull out his gun, because he looks genuinely displeased right now.
I got this one.
I'm surprised more people don't get shot in movie theaters in the States.
Well, it's happened.
For the amount of people that get shot in the States on a daily basis.
Did you not hear about
there have been
the AFI festival? There was a screening of a big movie, and a guy told someone to shut up. And the person didn't shut up. So the guy was like fed up. He's like, they're not being quiet. So they shot him.
Yeah.
It could go both ways. It could be the person that you're telling to shut up. Right?
I'm just shocked that it doesn't happen more often. Like shootouts, full like shootouts, 2-way action. I don't know.
I mean, let's just hope it doesn't happen. But let's be thankful it's not a common occurrence.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
No, listen, there are times where I'm like, I really would love to shoot this person.
What about, there's some talk of having
that'd be cool. 5D. Like go to like 4D place and the action's all around you, and then someone
actual
in the
bullets
audience
whizzing by your head.
Well, if they whiz by, if it's calculated, it's insured and you sign off.
You need a lot of pre-production for that.
5D.
If you could, that's crazy. If you could organize it where a bullet shot through the screen and hit directly into anyway, we're just talking shit.
I would take a shoulder shot.
What about the thought? There's some thought I've heard I think AMC in the States was talking about introducing a texting section of the theater, where the back corner of the theater, you can have your phone on.
Then why are you going out?
Some people have to live tweet every
fucking
moment of their lives.
That's a whole nother rant for another day. This generation is just fucking backwards right now.
Right.
And honestly, it's funny because there was this whole article that came out at the Toronto Film Festival, TIFF, about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
There were these very popular sort of columnists or journalists who were getting into it because they did the press and industry screenings where it's actually encouraged for buyers and distributors to be on their phone. Because if you're watching a movie, and I usually go to those screenings, I don't do the premieres anymore. I actually like being in that environment with and actually watching the movie and watching the buyers with their phones bidding on the movie, like emailing their who has the rights to this in Germany. We gotta buy this now.
Yeah,
and people then leave.
That's so fucking
It's
cool.
interesting. And so what I've observed is that it's a common thing. It's the norm now in these kinds of situations. And now for someone like me who's an avid moviegoer, I still wouldn't do it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And but in that situation, in that context, I'm okay. I condone it.
Right.
And there was a gentleman who ran a very popular, and I still think it is, very successful movie site, went on this rant online about how he freaked out that someone was on his phone. And that person who was on his phone was a journalist as well. Goes on his blog and says, this is why it's okay for me to be on my phone in this specific circumstance.
Yeah.
And that's why now it's funny when I go into these TIFF screenings, you notice it so much more now. But other than a situation like that, there is no need to have your phone on and text.
Yeah.
Not to mention how the brightness really pisses the people off behind you.
Yeah.
Like I've literally dipped into not my bag. I don't buy popcorn, but the person I'm with, I'll take their popcorn and throw it at the person who's on their phone.
Right.
And they don't know it's coming from me.
Yeah.
They go back to their phone, and I will throw it until they stop. It's gotten to that point. They might shoot me, but whatever. At least I
At
tried.
least you stood your ground,
I
man.
stood my ground, man.
Yeah, it's fucking. People are just so inconsiderate.
It's
man.
very inconsiderate.
I was at a comedy show recently, and there was like no phones allowed. It was signs saying because comedy shows they don't want people filming it. The guy's going to be making an hour special, and he doesn't want his jokes getting out early. And I got a notification on my phone that my meter had run up, and I pulled my phone out of my pocket just to like renew my meter. And within a second, there was an usher on me. You can't have your phone on. Literally was in my lap where I just was trying to click like two buttons, and he was like,
But you know what? It's okay. Listen,
I wasn't pissed about it. I was just kind of surprised. Like, wow, they're on top of their shit
If I
here.
took my phone out in a movie and they're like, get out, I'd be like, God bless you for doing your job.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, listen, there are circumstances where, you got to check something like that.
Yeah, like I have a baby at home. I every once in a while check my phone during a movie, just very
Totally
very
fine,
discreetly,
very
make sure I don't have a text message. If I did have one, I would leave the theater to go
just like going to the
respond.
washroom.
If I have to take a call and I see the light flashing,
But that's just like going to the washroom. You don't check your phone on the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's the
But I'll tell you what's really, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, because we're sitting here, we're ranting about how this pisses us off.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's what we do.
So what do you do? And I've been here. I guess it's hypothetical. Like, what you're going to do. And you're with a friend and you're like, this really pisses me off. And they're like, yeah. And then you're with them in the movie and they're fucking doing it. That's another thing that. So if you ever sit in, listen, I have a long leg.
Yeah.
Right. We already been over this with the aisle window thing. But
covered.
I really hate those obnoxious people who have the need to lean back as far as possible in their chairs. Like there's no reason to fully, do that because someone's sitting right behind you or like we're acting like sardines.
Yeah.
So it really pisses me off when the chair in front of me is smashing into my knee constantly. Because I'm a big guy too. I'm tall. I still never lean back that far.
Yeah.
I lean back, but not to the point that it's going to like intrude on somebody.
Yeah.
So what I do now is if they start doing that, I wait for them to lean forward and I stick my foot between the ground and their chair, and I physically do not let them move back.
Hurt?
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It is uncomfortable.
It's worth it.
It does hurt.
Because the moment when they
I've
turn
lost 4
around,
toes doing this?
the moment when they turn around and they give you that look of like, is it just me or is this person doing that? And you acknowledge, yes, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's fucking
You should
worth
make an
it.
invention for that, man. There's an invention I saw for planes.
wedge, yeah.
There's a lock you can get for planes so that the person in front of you can't lean
Put
back.
down a plank.
It's
That's
like a
right.
little wedge thing that you stick in. It's the exact right size for airplanes, and if the person tries to lean back, they can't.
Yeah.
But people can complain because they're like, I want to lean back and go to sleep. But if you could invent that shit for movie theaters, where you put that little wedge in there, it's the perfect size.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the seats at theaters that lean back that are like on a spring.
Look, in VIP they modified it a bit.
VIP
but
is electric lean
But look,
back.
you're not even safe in VIP.
VIP, there's so much space though. Like,
No, but
people can't kick
people
your.
are entitled.
Only
You
basketball
think that
players
the
can
people-
kick your seat though.
You think that but that's not what I mean by safe. I'm saying back to what our original point was.
talking.
If you look, King Kong, the new King Kong movie, Skull Island, couldn't find tickets for the showtime I wanted. It was only VIP. I don't normally splurge on VIP. I don't need it.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
It looks fun and whatever. I'm gonna treat myself to King Kong tonight.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not? I'm so romantic to myself. But we get there, and I was with a friend of mine, and it was like there was someone talking in the same aisle as us and behind us. And he was like, you'd think that like the people that are going to spend more on VIP are less likely to be the ones who are disturbing everybody. Nope, not safe.
No, the more,
doesn't matter where
the more
you go.
money you have, the more inconsiderate you are of other people.
I don't know. I guess it goes both ways.
But that's also food for me. That's why I can't. Also, something I can't deal about movie theaters is people who bring in like nachos, like popcorn and chocolate. Even just the smell. Having someone walk past me with like jalapenos on their nachos.
That's ridiculous.
And then at VIP, you can order like full meals. Like, have you been to VIP yet?
No, but I've seen all this.
You have like
shit.
a little
it's
table.
Dumb.
But like, and I think if you drink alcohol, it makes sense because they serve you alcohol at your seat, and you can like drink a pitcher.
Who wants to get drunk during a movie? Like, I don't even get that.
I don't understand why.
That does not seem like a movie experience.
To me, the ideal movie. Some people like to go to movies to like sit with an audience. To me, the ideal movie is just an empty theater. I went to see Rogue One. Right, I went to VIP. I went to the 11 p.m. show, and I walked into the VIP theater, and it was empty. Not one person sitting there, and there's a line of people waiting to take orders. And I turned to them. I said, like, if I wasn't here, would you be still running the movie, or would you just like shut it down? They're like, no, we would shut it down. I'm like, well, I'm fucking here, and I had reserved a spot in the back corner of the theater so I could like puff on my pen during the movie.
You would.
And then but there was no one there, so I sat dead center.
Are you sure it was if no one was there? You sure it was a pen you were puffing on?
Yeah, it was a pen.
Okay.
One of my pens. Both pens. But then I sat dead center in the middle of the theater and just puffed on my pen the whole time. So I'm like, fuck it, man. Who gives a shit? They said to me, they're like, just so you know, right now you have $2,500 worth of seats that you're like taking up, or whatever it was, $1,000 worth of seats. I'm like, sweet, man. I don't care. The movie, it wasn't a good movie by any means, but it looked and sounded awesome on the VIP screen. So I got to see it again. It's not as bad as everyone said it was. I don't think it's not as good.
I think it is.
Do you?
No, it wasn't for me.
We got to work together again so we can talk movies for more often.
Or just have me back on the show.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Totally. Anyway, cool. Thanks. Good rant, man. I totally agree with what you're saying. Fuck inconsiderate people. Basically, all the rants on this show end up coming back to inconsiderate assholes.
Look, and to all our listeners, we're selling the foot wedge for $9.99.
Oh, yeah. Moviewedge.com. Allan Ungar, CEO. I'm the creative director.
I think we got it, Pat.
Hit me. I have a cheaper version.
We'll take that Cam H money you're getting from Gorman.
Cool. Thanks for coming in. You got anything to plug?
Gridlock's on Netflix right now.
What about Lower Bay? When's that coming out?
You know what? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I produced the film, but after the film kind of wrapped, I didn't really stay on and involved. I'm not sure where it's at, but
is
I know.
Is it done though?
Oh yeah, no, it's got a release date. I just don't know what the date is right now.
Cool.
Yeah. So that'll be out probably later this year.
Cool. And you got other projects in the works that you can't talk about that we'll all find out about later.
Superstition. Don't like to jinx it, but we'll be busy.
Oh, I thought you were saying the name of the movie was Superstition.
I was thinking, that's a tough one to clear.
Yeah, the Stevie Wonder story.
Sir Duke. I'm doing a film called Sir Duke, also the Stevie Wonder story.
How is there no Stevie Wonder story? To be real, like there's a Ray Charles.
Guys, I think we're onto something here.
No, people make movies while people are biopics when people are still alive.
Do you want to fucking know? Do you want to get me on a fucking rant?
Yeah, let's go.
Stevie Wonder's not fucking blind, and nobody wants to talk about the truth behind it.
He's not blind?
No, he's a fucking character. Okay?
What?
No, there's footage out there.
Is he serious right now?
No, he's not blind. It's a whole record label.
He never looks blind when he's on stage, and like I always see him be like, how does he know?
Look,
I will not partake in this conversation.
With all due respect to handicapped
I'm not
people,
part of this conversation.
He is not blind. I've seen him catch a microphone stand in front of Paul McCartney. He's
got Daredevil reflex.
And although that is my only proof and evidence, I also feel it in my gut.
Go with your gut, Huey.
Yeah, go with my gut.
Yeah, for sure.
Not blind Stevie Wonder. That's my story.
Little Stevie Wonder, you're a fraud. But if you want to come on the show, if you're listening, it's Stevie. You're welcome on the show anytime to prove that you're blind.
Yeah, I'll retract that.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.